Okay folks, I'm gonna demonstrate my little chainsaw here. New addition for this season, or this fall I should say. And it works like a charm. I've already cut up quite a bit of wood, but I thought I'd show you how it works. And my little sawhorse that I have made up here. Takes short work of this stuff. Hit the rock, that's not good. Try to stay away from that rock, but it's hard to prevent the recoil. Here's a little bigger piece. Cut this in half. So it works good. I'm very pleased with it. So that's about it. I won't show any more. I already cut quite a bit. So there's a handle here for bigger pieces. It doesn't really need to be used on this, but I put it on there anyway. Let me show you around the site a little bit. It's kind of an island on an island, you might say. Okay, the boat's right behind me there. You can kind of see. And this is kind of the backside of where I'm tied up. There's a bunch of old deadheads. And consequently, I found quite a bit of firewood in here because it's kind of collects, as you can see. Some of it's too waterlogged to use. There's my new portable fire pit, they call it. Ready for fire tonight. And here's the firewood that I cut. I cut up all of that with that little saw. It really works good. Letting it dry in the sun there a little bit. And then we'll have a fire later. I was going to go do some fishing. I may still do that. But I had to finish filling up putting the air in the tubes and the dinghy. You see it rocking and rolling there. I should probably put that on the other side of the boat so it's not beating against the side so much. I'll walk you down here towards the boat. It's kind of ended up being a good site. I was very pleased to find this at the last minute. Went up in that little slot there last night, and then I happened to see this little island, and when I was coming out, it caught my attention. So I thought, well, let's go down and take a look. Maybe I can pull in and tie up. That's why I'm here. Wind came up a little bit, so it's working a little bit, but not really too badly. My air pump was out of juice when I put the dinghy in yesterday, so I ended up pumping by hand partially, and then finished with the pump after I recharged it enough to finish. And then today I topped up everything. That's a little motor. I think I'm going to put that on the downside here because it's rocking and rolling quite a bit. Either that or pull it up on shore. I can do that too, I guess. But I'll walk you down here a little bit first before I do that. Here's where I got quite a bit of my firewood over here. There's still some there in that pile I'm going to try to bring back. And there's probably a lot more if I look around here. Yeah, I need to bring that dinghy over on this side so it's sheltered behind the boat. So we'll do that because the wind has come up here this afternoon. We'll talk to you soon. to get the fire started here. There's the new fire pit that I got for this year, because I figured I would be in these unimproved sites where they didn't have a fire ring. So that's the idea. And I've not used it before, so this is a first experiment. And we're right before sunset. We're probably an hour early for starting this, but I thought since we didn't have a fire last night, I want one tonight, and I want it to last. So we're going to see if this works. We'll see whether this fires up or not. I just used driftwood that I found around the site, mostly beaver remnants, pieces of wood that beavers had cut and floated in. So we're going to give that a shot. And one of the characteristics of this is this has so much air from underneath that it tends to burn hotter and burn up your wood faster. But it also is easier to start because you get plenty of air. But it seems to be doing pretty good based on what I'm seeing here. I carry a little bit of newspaper with me as my starter. I usually use 2 or 3 sheets. Put a ball underneath the wood, and that helps me get going. And with some good kindling, it fires right off. And I'm certainly getting a good start on this fire, so good heat going. So the wood I found ended up being really good. I may have to be on the lookout for more of that when I'm going along the shores. I'm quite impressed with the fire. It's really started easily and burning very hot. It's quite hot. Too hot really for a fire this early, but we better keep it going. So I'll get a little more kindling on there, smaller sticks to keep it burning. But based on the heat that I'm feeling, it's not going to be very difficult to keep it going. A loon out there in the background. I'm having a little Bailey's while I'm enjoying the fire. But I'm quite a ways back from this fire, and it's hotter than a pistol. So it works well. Kind of a flimsy little thing. I think I paid $20 or $25 for this portable fire pit, they call it. A stainless steel or mesh that it holds the fire, and it's not supposed to get holes in it. It's supposed to keep the ash in the screen, so you don't get any ash down on the ground. So you can have it over grass or other things, and it's not going to start a fire. So we'll see. We're going to test it a few times. This is my first test with this, and so far I'm impressed. I mainly decided to do this trip because of the lack of established boat sites where you can pull in and there's a fire ring already there. I figured I'd be in a lot of unimproved spots like this one, and I wanted to be able to have a fire without having to go out and gather a bunch of rocks to make a fire ring. And so that's what this is about. And then right here on my right here, I don't know if you can see it if it's in the view, but there's a little box there. That's my little portable lightweight chainsaw that I use to cut up this wood. Works absolutely great. And that's, again, an experiment for this trip, figuring that I would be in unimproved sites where I'd have to cut wood and where there's not trails that are easy to get out. A lot of the sites that I've had on Temagami, for example, last fall, you have trails and places where people will walk in and get wood, and you can more easily access wood. I figured on this trip I need to be able to be efficient, be able to cut wood quickly, and get it to where I'm going to have this set up so I can have a fire. This is my first day to try both of them, and so far I'm happy with the results. I didn't bring my propane fire ring this time because I've used it so few times on all the trips that I figured it just wasn't worth it, especially since I have this option. So I'll turn you off for now, but I'll put a little firewood on there first. But it's so hot, I don't know how to access it here. Pretty hot. Thought I'd pick up here after the sun started to set, and it's about down now. Show you a little bit more of the fire here after it starts getting dark. So far I've been pretty pleased with the setup. There's no ash underneath the screen, So you could be in an unimproved area without any fire ring and have a fire. And that's my purpose in this. I haven't noticed any unusual amount of burn that uses extra wood, because that was one of the things I did notice on YouTube, but I don't see anything unusual there. It's a beautiful evening in the summer, late summer, Indian summer, whatever you want to call it. Temperatures are very moderate. It's not cold, it's not hot. It's just very pleasant fall day. I'm just very grateful to the Lord for this beautiful evening. Earlier today, the waves were starting to rock the boat pretty good, and I asked the Lord to calm the winds so that I wouldn't have to move, because I was afraid it would start to work on the rocks, could do damage, and it calmed down. So I just thank the Lord for that. It was supposed to go down around 5 or after, but it actually was an hour or hour and a half early that it calmed down, and I was really grateful for that, because the wind was right off this direction and right against the side of the boat. It was rocking pretty good. I was cooking dinner. I had a couple of sliders, hamburger sliders, and potato chips and a cold beer for dinner. Did that on the grill. And then this evening I've just been sitting out here and had a glass of red wine, enjoying the evening fire. I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm thinking that I might stay here another day. It's just been very pleasant, and I really wanted to go up that area that I checked for a place to anchor that was unsuccessful. I'd like to go back there because there is a trail there that I might be able to pick up that comes close to the water. I'd probably have to hike through the woods a little bit. I'd like to see if I can pick up that trail and take a hike. I'll take the boat up there, do a little fishing en route, and see if I can do the hike tomorrow, and then maybe come back and have another fire tomorrow night, because it's a good spot. It's just a perfect spot, and I don't want to pass it up too quickly and pass things that I could do here, particularly the hiking. The hiking is not going to be easy to find. You got to be able to find a trail that's close enough to the water that I can hike through the woods and get to the trail. There will be no path. I'll have to cut through the brush, so I'm hoping that it'll be open enough that I can get through. But it's close. It's probably a couple hundred yards maybe at most, so it shouldn't be a difficult thing to do. I'm still having trouble sleeping at night. I didn't get really good rest last night until I took an ibuprofen about, I don't know what time, middle of the night. I took an ibuprofen to try to ease some of the pain that I'm getting in my hips and shoulders and every place. I was just aching in pain, and I kept rolling around, and I couldn't get a good solid sleep because I kept fitfully rolling around trying to find a comfortable spot. But as soon as I took the ibuprofen, I was able to relax. The pain kind of went away, and I was able to sleep a couple of hours anyway, but I still didn't get enough sleep. So I'm hoping tonight that'll change. From the get-go, I'll probably take one ibuprofen before I go to bed and see if that helps. Once I get to sleep, maybe I'll stay asleep. So I was still a little tired today, but I didn't nap. I was thinking of napping. Decided that try to get other things done so that I can do the hike. So I got the dinghy ready to go, do some fishing, pump the air up in the tubes there because they weren't up to full capacity because the pump went dead on me when I was back at the launch. I have that pretty much set. I just need to put together some hiking gear to do some video along the path. Maybe do a little fishing, hopefully catch a fish on the way. So that's the plan for tomorrow. I'm not going to move, at least at this point. If weather turns and I can't stay here, then I move. But the forecast says the wind is going to switch around to the north, and it won't be quite as strong as it was today. And of course, north is pretty much that direction, so I'm pretty protected from that. So I don't think there's going to be a problem with the north wind. And then it'll ease around to the northeast eventually. The reality is it's a good spot, and I don't want to pass too quickly. So we'll stay here and then move on. And I'm not too hopeful about anchoring because I had such a poor poor anchoring situation here when I tried to anchor before coming here. I'm not sure that maybe this lake is going to have a problem with finding good bottom to anchor in. Now granted, that was kind of maybe a creek bottom that comes out there, so it does tend to bring a lot more muck and mud down through that area when you have a stream like that. If I can get an area that is not a stream bed, maybe it'll be a better anchoring. So we'll see as time goes on here. Or I'll find spots like this where I can get this kind of a rock shelf where I can pull in and have a fire and enjoy the evening. So that's kind of an overview of the situation and the day. It's just been a really great day. I've been blessed. Can't thank the Lord enough for the beautiful fall day that came today. It's just been great. Got plenty of sun, and was able to bring my solar up pretty good, do a lot of charging, use my new chainsaw. That was really saves a lot of work. Did a little splitting with the axe, but very little because these sticks are so small. So it turned out really great, a real enjoyable site. So you have a good evening, and we will talk to you probably tomorrow sometime during the day. Have a good evening.